to Xolobeni in the Eastern Cape, and that is where this morning's pre-election debate is taking place. 10 parties represented, just running through them: the ANC, the DA, UDM, EFF, COPE, AIC, we have the IFP, the PAC, AZAPO, and of course ATM. So I still need to get the views from AZAPO and ATM, and then it's over to the community of Xolobeni to hear what they have to say and the questions they want answered. And as I had asked the panel, short, sharp answers, and the same will apply to the community here as they ask their questions. But let's hear from you, Azapo. Coming in here, how was that?
Thank you, Sakina. It was very terrible. And I left town about 4 o'clock. I arrived here 7 o'clock. In my mind, I thought I was moving from one province to another. I only realized, no, I was coming from town to a village because of the roads. And this, you cannot call it a road. And the problem in this area and South Africa at large, the corruption has taken a center stage. Because you cannot tell me or convince a sound-minded South African that in 25 years into democracy, there are people who are still living this situation. No electricity, no roads, no toilet. Of course, what they specialize in, the pit toilets, they failed to build those things for the poor black people. Then AZAPO now is saying, let the people of South Africa put their trust in AZAPO so that AZAPO can restore the dignity of black people. Because the road itself undermines that dignity. Because the living without electricity undermined that dignity. At least those essential basic services are needed for our people. They are walking 5 kilometers to a clinic. It means some of them, they deliver babies on the road. Some of them, they die on the road.
But Azapo, it's as much as an indictment on the ANC as it is on you and everybody else, because you are saying now that it felt like you were going from one province to the next, yet you were just coming from town into a village. And so you are coming here to do some electioneering as well, to ask for votes. Because if you actually care about this community, why haven't you been here? Why haven't you been here to address these issues that you are concerned about?
Sakina, AZAPO is not coming here for the first time. The people of Xolobeni can tell you that. We've been coming here, we've been discussing with them, trying to address the issues. As a result, trying to build AZAPO in this area so that people can understand why they are living this situation. So AZAPO is not coming for the first time.
So what did they tell you? Why are they living in these conditions?
Why?
Why are they living under these conditions? Why is the community accepting that they should live under conditions such as these?
They have no choice. They have no choice. These people, they are not a government. The powers that be are the people that are robbing these people of these communities, the services, the good life. These are the people who are cheating these people. These are the people who are used because there is no electricity. They don't have access to radio, most of them. They don't have access to television, so they do not know exactly what is taking place. But some of them, I was so surprised that most of the people of this area, they once rejected food parcels that were delivered by a helicopter because they showed the people of South Africa they are not just hungry with the stomach, but their mind is so rich. As a result, these people, that is why they stand their ground.
Okay. All right, ATM.
Thank you so much, Sakina. Kunzima ukukholelwa into yokuba kweli xesha sikulo sinokuhamba kwezi ngqondorha sigqiba uhamba kuzo sezibiza indlela. We have just witnessed underdevelopment of epic proportions. What we have just seen right now, it is the abandonment of the project of the restoration of human dignity for the people of Xolobeni. And it is truly shocking that the government would come into this place and be able to hold face at the face of such dismal failure. You know, earlier on I had a chat with Unontle of Amadiba Crisis Committee. She told me that the people of Xolobeni are being punished for the anti-mining stance. In fact, Premier, not even an MEC, one Premier actually said to them, that is what was given to them. For standing for your right in this country, you get to be marginalized. For standing for what is right in this country, you can actually be ikeswa. This is why as the ATM we are saying that time has come so that the will of the people may be heard.
Okay, and I'm just looking through all the parties. I think you are the youngest party on the stage in terms of when you were established. So what are you going to do differently? Because this is all establishment politics. What are you going to do differently as ATM?
We believe first it is important to understand the narrative of Xolobeni. There are people who have been given this land by their forefathers and borrowed this land by the future generations. And they are expected to deliver this land better than it has ever been. The 22 years or 20 years of mining will deliver a land that is truly a disaster. A million liters of water a day to blast the titanium will leave this part dry.
But what is ATM going to do differently? How are you going to change the political landscape? How are you going to make a difference to this community?
When you understand the narrative of the people, you then understand that they should be here for eternity. When you pass a judgment of 22 years on them, you are then limiting their livelihoods. This place must outlive the current generation. The next generations must be able to get fertile ground where they'll be able to have grazing land, plowing land, and we are saying as the ATM that order should not be disturbed.
Okay.
And most importantly, we must bring the services to the people.
All right, speaking of services, I think in fairness to the ruling ANC, we're sitting in a structure here, a hall. It's not like they've not done anything over the past 25 years. There are actually clinics, I have seen buildings, and yes, the rest of the parties can sneer. It's not entirely fair to say they haven't done anything. They have done things. Perhaps they were supposed to do more. And what is that more that they were supposed to done? What could they have done better? I suppose is one of the questions that the ANC needs to answer. But I'm going to leave it to the community to ask the questions that they want to ask. There's a very long line. I beg you to look behind you and see how long that line is. And that will inform why I say to you, please, can you get to the point? Ask your question, give us your name, your question, and I'll get it answered immediately. And the same applies to the panel. Please, short, brief answers so we can move through this line. All right, Ms. Yura. Okay, you can continue speaking. Okay, we'll get someone to help you, but please ask your question.
First of all, I just want to say that I heard that they said that we are in Xolobeni. And I know that we are not in Xolobeni yet.
Let me just bring my mic to you. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. I just heard everybody's talking here. They said that we are in Xolobeni. And as you are talking about the road to Xolobeni is more worse than the road that you were driving in here. And I hope this event was just being held at Xolobeni, not here at Kumbuza. My question is that why the only development for the ruling party is only the mining? Because when we said that we want our road to be fixed, we want our communities to be accessible, they said that we said no to mining. That is why we're not going to be, our roads are not going to be upgraded.
Who said that to you? Who?
This region, it's an ANC region. even ourselves, we are under ANC. We said many times that we need our road to be fixed.
So it's the ANC who said that?
Yes.
Okay. So your question is to the ANC?
To the ANC. Why the only development is mining? Why, as people of Xolobeni, they think in order to develop Xolobeni, we need to say yes to mining? Are we voting for Australian company or are we voting for ANC?
Okay. Thank you. ANC? As I quickly try to come up here. Please, an answer to the question.
Enkosi.
All right, let's listen to the answer, please.
Enkosi nonhlengombuzo. Okokuqala iANC iyayamkela i-court judgment that gave affirmed the rights of people of Xolobeni to decide and call for a comprehensive consultation on the nature of development which must take place here. Siyayixhasa lonto siyenzi. Okwesibini, akho mntu unelungelo noba unolenza egameni leANC upanisha abantu kuba bedecide ngolo hlobo. Kodwa into esiyithethayo siyenzi into abantu mabahlale phansi baxoxe. Abawufunayo umgodi nabangawufuniyo umgodi. Kodwa thina sifuna i-development engazuchaphazela abantu abakhoyo ngoku nezizukulwane ezizayo. Yiyo lento sifuna uba xa kuzi-development mayengabalwisa abantu. Uba abantu abavani ngaloo nto, it's time for government to review i-position yakhe, to listen more ebantwini bethu. That's the ANC saying to its own government.
Okay.
So akho mntu ke uba nelungelo lokupanisha abantu ngenxa beneso sizathu. Okwesibini,
But they say this was said to them by officials of your government.
makasinike igama siyazi uba sakwenza into ngaloo nto. Makasinike igama. Makasinike igama. Sifuna.
I think you heard the response from the community to your response.
Sifuna igama lomuntu wenza loo nto ngoba le nkululeko siyilwele sisebenze nabantu belizwe ANC to fight for freedom, including rights of the people to make decisions, and therefore the ANC cannot betray such rights. But
right.
individuals can
what?
act outside that.
I need to move this along because that line is very long. But UDM is very vehemently shaking his head here, saying he wants to come in on this. So very briefly, so I can go back to the floor.
It is not true that the ANC accept the judgment. They are intending to appeal against the judgment. Where the Mantashe, the ANC national chairperson, is intending to appeal against the judgment.
That's where the
no, it is not true. He was here. He was addressing the people of Xolobeni.
That's government. That's
Okay, all right. And we get into the murky waters of that separation of party and state. But all the same, a quick retort and then I get back to the floor.
No, it's completely not true, Sakina. The ANC is not appealing the judgment. If the Department of Minerals is considering doing that, that would be outside what the ANC expect of them to do. What we expect our government to do is to listen to the people to make decisions about their own future. Okay. But at the same time, we expect people not to treat each other as enemies, those who want mining and those who don't want mining, because they are not enemies. They must sit down and discuss the development path which they want to have.
Let's move it along. Yes, sir. Just start again. We're struggling to hear you.
Igama lam ndikudathelela kwamathikizela pha eXholobeni ndingumakhi abanye abantu bathi baseXholobeni besho benganyanisanga manqa ndivezo ndawo ndibulise kutata Nqatha egama lenkosi mna ndikwapha eXholobeni uzudincedise ke tata Nqatha eXholobeni sine access road ephaya uthiwa isikhombe access road ndenzela uba abanye abantu bazawuthetha ngeXholobeni abangayaziyo kanti badayivethekile eXholobeni unamanzi afakwayo phaya kulo rhulumente we-ANC sithetha ngeXholobeni.
Okay. Okay. All right. As I All right, sir. I need you to get to the question. Question. Who are you directing your question to?
Okay. Yeah. Ndithetha ke njengomhlali waseXolobeni. Apha sine bridge ezingu-4 ezakhwe ngulo rhulumente ndithetha njengomhlali waseXolobeni. Apha sine whole road.
Just hold on, please, sir. I'm going to have to ask you please to quieten down, because if I'm struggling to hear, the panel probably cannot hear. But sir, please get to the point. Can you ask the question? Direct it to someone and ask it, please.
Ipoint yam nantsi yinto yokuba njengoba thina singabahlali baseXolobeni ndicela utata umpaza sincedise ngokuthi apha abaxelela aba bantu uba sine-whole road eziyi-4 ezizokwenziwa itha imakhwantini No, guys.
Sir, I'm giving you 10 seconds. Can you please complete the point? I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. Okay.
No, because
excuse me, sir. Speak to me so that we can answer the question. We need to move on.
Okay. Ngizocela ukuthi ke utata we-ANC ukuze abantu ngoba ubaba balapha kwaMadiba wa-25 abacacisele nge-whole road ezenziwa apha okunama-SMME angu-40.
Okay.
nale ndlela temama bathetha ngayo bathimbi into yoba unesinalo i-honorishini into olibizwa kwezagamamuwini.
We're gonna move. Okay, thank you. No. Next person. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please give everybody a chance? Let's listen to what people want to ask. So I'm going to take 3 questions. It's yourself and then the gentleman behind you, and then we'll get answers. Continue, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Molweni nonke. Igama lam Kenneth Ntola, we Congress of the People. And for information of everybody, ndingumsinsi ukuzimilela kule ndawo. I would like to ask the representative of COPE, Reverend Gavin Ferrier, how does the Congress of the People wish or aim to give the people of KwaMadiba at large a fresh start and put them into the new South Africa, because these people here, they were neglected by the Matanzima regime, by the Holomisa regime, by the various ANC government, including the kleptocratic Zuma regime. And tell us, Pastor Ferrier, how does COPE intend to put the people, give the people of KwaMadiba a fresh start and put them into the new South Africa? Thank you.
Next question, please.
Izwe lethu iAfrika ndinibolisile nani banini bomhlaba molweni umhlaba ngowenu maAfrika molweni ndifuna ukuqonda kuwe tata wePAC ngalombuzo njengoko kwi25 years besisolokana inkululeko sisolokana sithetha ngomhlaba sodwa siPAC sibona amanye amaqela ethetha ngomhlaba. Ingabe intoni nenizosincedisa kuyo njengoko siubona umhlaba wethu ba usaqhubeka nokwebiwa ngabamhlophe ezandleni zabamnyama izwe lethu?
All right. Thank you. Let me start with PAC. You can answer first and we'll come down the line. PAC? You can answer first.
Thank you, Sakina.
Please continue.
Okay. One, as the PAC, we will, immediately we get into government, take land and place it in the hands of the African people. And the land which we are talking about is not the land which is not used. is not the land which is actually going to be dealt with through expropriation. We are talking from the land in total, the land which has minerals, the land which has forestry, the land which is economically active, and place it in the hands of the African people, so that we can be able to generate resources from our own economy and be able to construct roads which the ANC has failed to construct for the past 25 years in the area we are in. People of Xolobeni, there can never, even the government of the PAC, be a company which is coming from Australia to come and mine in your own area. That's the first point. The second point on it is that the land cannot only be utilized for mining. There should be a balance in terms of what is actually going to be produced on the land comparatively with whatever option. If the option, which is agricultural and tourism, is viable, as the research says in this particular case of Xolobeni, government will invest in the development of land.
Okay.
Fortunately.
All right, thank you, PAC. You know, one of the things that is quite striking is when we talk about land expropriation without compensation, there seems to be this notion that this is something that is going to happen. What we fail to realize is that land expropriation without compensation takes place all the time in South Africa, where communities are moved off very valuable mineral-rich land. That is land expropriation without compensation, because the communities don't actually benefit from that. So I'm also baffled by the community, the political parties, and how they interpret that particular question of the land and what is currently happening to it. But that's an aside. Cope.
Thank you. I can assure you that as COPE, we will be a capable, professional, effective, and government that will listen to the people. We take your mandate. When you vote for COPE, we receive your mandate and we do what you want us to do. In this community, we need to develop this community. But we're not going to develop it on our own. We need to have inclusive development with you. We need to discuss the way forward with you. We need to see what you need. We need to put proper education in this area. We need to bring work in this area. We cannot have just dirty roads and no infrastructure. There's got to be proper infrastructure. Just building a school is not infrastructure. Building a hall that's falling down, look at the ceiling, is not infrastructure. I encourage you, vote for COPE, and we will help this community develop into a new community of hope and freshness. Amen.
All right, ANC.
Thanks, Sakina. Let me thank you for the comment you made in recognizing the achievements that have been made under the leadership of the ANC, working together with our people.
Well, I wasn't saying achievements. I was simply noting what I see.
No, it is important. The fact that ingxaki ekhoyo into bana abantu abalazi uxanduva oluza nokukhokela urhulumente. Yiyo le nto abantu bethetha nje bathethe nento ezingekhoyo bathi iyawa le holo ngoku ingawiyo silapha kuyo phakathi. Abanye babenalo ithuba lokubana bawise urhulumente ngapha eLimpopo. Sahamba somvuso uLimpopo urhulumente ngenxa yeetenders eziqhubekayo phaya. Umsebenzi wethu uyazithethela ngokwawo ANC. Out of 6.6 million of the people of the Eastern Cape, 88% now have access to electricity. We have got about 773 health centers throughout the province to ensure that we reduce the burden of disease in the province. That's the work done under the leadership of the ANC. We have also improved the performance of our education system, registering 70% of the pass mark in the matric and improving the quality of the results from 18.9 to 29% in terms of bachelors as a province. We have built about 2 economic zones, which has attracted about 43 in Kucha investments that have created 7,000 jobs, and 25 investors in East London, which has created about 4,000 jobs. The ANC is making progress in this regard. We intend to build on it, working together with our people.
How many people
and more than
have
50,000
access to electricity in the Eastern Cape?
Come again?
What was your stat on electricity, electrification of the Eastern Cape?
88% of our people are connected.
As of when?
Come again?
As of when?
Come again?
As of when? Which stats are you referring to?
As of 2017. 2017.
2017?
Yeah.
My stats look very different to yours in this regard. But I tell you what, we need to take a spot break, and then when we come back, we'll continue looking at these stats in terms of what is actually happening in the province with regard to service delivery, and we'll take more questions from the people of the area as well. But first, let's take the break.